Or this time the quick speed shop, check it out. Bam! I've got my 1946 Studebaker pickup here, but it's got a Camaro front subframe out of a 70 to 81 style F-body Camaro. And I'm putting new brake pads in because the old ones are squealing. It's driving me nuts. I got some high quality performance friction pads I'm throwing in here, and we're going to see if we can stop that squealing problem. It's starting right now. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. Alright, hey, welcome back. I'm coming to you live from my Studebaker truck. I got a thing I want to do here. I want to fix something that's been bugging me forever, this thing. For like the last year, I swapped brake pads and I put in some kind of pad. I don't know where they came from. They're used, but they drive me nuts. They're squealing real bad, so I got new pads. Check this out. Come on. Yeah, you hear that? They're not squealing as much as they usually do, but when they get warm, they squeal real bad. So I got a new set of pads. We're gonna pull this thing in. Cold-blooded, here we go. We're gonna pull this thing in, put some new pads on it, because I go through like towns and I gotta slow down and it's extremely loud and annoying. You can hear them there, they're squealing. I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing in the only place I got the works in the pole barn right now. So we're gonna pull in the pole barn and jack this thing up and put some new pads in it. I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. Tight like a tiger in here too. This truck's so low, the long reach Daytona jack barely fits under here. My old jack I need to drive up on wood to get under the truck, but this one reaches. Before I get the weight off the tires, let me get the hubcaps off and we'll loosen the lug nuts. That'd be a good plan. Ta-da. I'll go ahead and I'll loosen up the other side. We're going to do one wheel at a time because I've only got one jack stand. I'm going to get a jack stand. I'll get a jack stand before we get under there, but just want to show you these rotors. Ooh, they're a little warm, but they're smooth. These are good original rotors from back in the day. These are rotors from like the early 1980s, and they're mint shape. They don't wear, they don't really rust at all. I don't want to throw them away and get the new Chinese ones. These are a real deal back in the day. So let me get a jack stand under here before I get under. But I want to show you. So you see down here this shape here of this frame rail. This is the front subframe out of a 70 to 81 Camaro. It's a front steer, and it would have mounts and it would bolt to the unibody back section of the Camaro body. The body of the car was unibody, and they had this front subframe that bolted on. And back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, these are popular swaps to do. Now there's like Mustang 2 kits and other kits and Ford Crown Victoria suspension. But back in the day when my dad and I put this truck together, it was 1993, we used this Camaro front clip, cut off the original Studebaker frame right here, and then grafted this Camaro front end under it. It extends under those tails under there, so I got about 12-inch overlap of the frame, so it's super strong and it's boxed on the inside. But back in the day, this gave you the whole independent front suspension, disc brakes, power steering, the whole 9 yards. So this is essentially a 70 to 81 Camaro up front. Okay, we got some light on the subject here. I got a 3/8 Allen bolt, which goes back in here to take the two bolts out. You can see I got these pads, or I'm going to take them out, they got a lot of life left on them. But just check my hoses out, they look good, all the brake line looks good. I know my bushings squeak on these things. So I'm just going to loosen up these two pins, and then this caliper should come right off of here. I did put the jack stand under the truck, so don't worry, safety first. Pins are in nice shape. This truck obviously doesn't get driven in the winter or anything, so there's no salt on it. Doesn't really deteriorate. It's in the garage all the time, so this stuff should be all in nice shape. I believe these are the calipers I put on back in 1993, so that was almost 30 years ago, and they're still mint. Now let's see. Aha, there we go. I don't know why these squeal so much. They're nice riveted pads. It just must be the material they're made of. I mean, it squeals and drives me nuts. Back one got the clip for the inside, but they're nice and smooth. They're wearing nice. They just squeal like crazy. I am going to take a C-clamp. Where's it? Lost it. I'm just going to lightly squeeze this caliper with a C-clamp and run the piston back in. Should go straight in, no problem. Just like that. I just go to the pad is flush, which appears to be about there. That's it. So now I got room to put the new pads in. Okay, good quality performance friction made in America pads. The carbon metallic. They're actually not sure where they're from. I didn't buy them recently, and can't remember why I got them, but they're nice. Performance friction are nice, high quality brake pads, and they match up to the ones that were in there. So, oh, get that on there. You got these anti-squeal little pads on the back. I've got to switch my little bracket over that holds on to the piston. Usually I want to put some disc brake grease on here, which I don't appear to have any, so I'm going to use a little bit of anti-seize just where the caliper rides. Just give it a little protection there, a little yeah. Try not to get it on everything. I know it's hard with anti-seize. I'm simply going to slide the caliper or the pads right back in how they came out. Bam. Simply slide it right back on. Get in there. Take my bolts, put a little anti-seize on the threads. Jerry has plenty of it on there. These brakes are super simple and super easy to work on. Bam, that's pretty much it. The brand new pads installed, they're still loose. Before I drive the truck, I'll pump the brake pedal a bunch of times to push the piston back out. But we got this side done. One thing I'm going to do is get my grease gun out. I'm going to grease the upper and lower ball joints in here. Everything else looks good. Other than being filthy in here, everything looks good. The steering's nice and tight. So I'm going to go ahead and grease everything up and then tackle the other side, and we'll set it down and go for a ride. I got fresh grease in the tie rod end here, in the idler arm, lower ball joint. Everything else looks good under here. Looking good. Alright, bam, got it all put back together and set on the ground, torqued my lug nuts, put the hubcaps back on, greased all my steering components, and everything is ready to go. So we're going to take a test drive. Here we go. I'm going to pump the brake pedal a couple times to get the, there we go, get the pistons out. Usually I would have squealing rolling around like this. I gotta monkey around with the carburetor on this thing. It's got issues. Here we go. Ooh, I don't hear any squealing. Some rattles, but no squealing. And it stops pretty good too. Dang. Dang. No squealing though, that's perfect. Oh, this is 1,000 times better. This thing was driving me nuts to the point where I didn't even want to drive it. 1,000 times better. No noise whatsoever. It stops good. These performance friction pads are, oh yeah, they're good. They're good. So I'm glad I got that done. Believe it or not, I drove it for like I don't know, like almost a year and a half with the freaking squealing pads driving me nuts, and it wasn't that long at all to change it. I just sometimes I got so many things going on that I don't get around to doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I'd done that a year ago, I would have been a lot happier. But bam, we get here. Hold on, let me. I gotta load something up here. Don't hit everything in the yard. Whoa, easy. So bam, there we go. I'm super happy I did that. Like I said, the thing's been squealing for about a year and a half, driving me absolutely nuts. It was getting worse. I'd be cruising through, you know, towns on the way to cruise night, have to stop for a red light or whatever, and you barely ride the brake pedal, and it would just like squeal and squeal and squeal, and you know, everybody would look. It was terrible. So I should have done it a long time ago. Sometimes I just don't get to the minor stuff because I got too many other things going on. But it's super awesome now. It's way better. I hate squealing brakes, and it was just terrible. So, bam, there we go. Putting new brake pads on the Camaro Subframe in the 1946 Studebaker truck. Thanks for watching. Come back again. We got something always happening here at the Quick Speed Shop.